Salmon are a valuable part of our Alaskan way of life. The salmon has served as a source of inspiration for our art, folklore, and music. Because our waters are so rich with salmon, many Alaskans depend on it for food and jobs. And many of you know the fun and excitement of catching your first fish just for recreation. Fish are caught in many ways. We will look at these methods later. But first, let's look at the varieties of salmon found in Alaska.
There are 5 members of the Pacific salmon family, and each have their own characteristics. The largest is the Chinook, or king salmon, weighing about 30 pounds. They return to spawn at the same time as the sockeye, or red salmon, which is early June for southeastern. Late June to midsummer bring pinks and chums, or humpies and dogs as known to many Alaskans. Silvers, also called cohos, arrive in the fall. No matter what they're called, their journeys provide a full season of subsistence, sport, and commercial fishing. This once worshipped fish provided most of the food for the many different tribes of people from northern California to the Yukon River. And Alaska's mammoth salmon returns issued an early invitation in her history to resource exploiters. Big canneries from California and Washington set up business in the territory in the late 1800s, and thus began the decimation of the valuable salmon resource from greed and a lack of regulation. This abandoned cannery, along with scores of others in southeastern Alaska, stand as hollow reminders of the days when fish traps and nets robbed tens of thousands of salmon daily from their chance to spawn, gradually wiping out stocks in many areas. It became apparent to Alaskans that the dwindling salmon stocks had to be protected. Statehood gave Alaska the right to manage her fisheries, and after it was achieved, the picture changed drastically. 1958 was the last year for the traps. The long process of rebuilding the ravaged salmon began in 1959, and it hasn't been easy. Salmon became the single most important food thousands of years ago when paths of migrating animals brought native people to prime fishing spots. Drying and smoking salmon at fish camp remain vital to many Alaskans today, just as it did to their ancestors.
Yeah, I love to stay in camp. I like camps like this for fishing. Just try to get something to eat. Either way, we're quick to save up for winter. We don't sell no fish. We try to save everything we get for ourselves. Everything.
The subsistence lifestyle is bearing a lot of pressure today, as the whole question of subsistence in a modern world is being challenged.
But they used to be good fishing. Right now, ever since people started buying fish, it's really hard to catch fish.
Ever since people started buying fish?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean?
Like people got license to sell fish. They sell fish, and they don't just carry one wheel either. They'll try to put in all they can.
This subsistence user, like the rest of Alaskans, is concerned with maintaining the salmon population. The unique life cycle of the salmon holds the key to both its numbers and its reliability. Nature assures an abundant beginning when the female salmon lays between 2,000 and 8,000 eggs. She digs a hole in the bottom of the stream for the eggs, and the male deposits sperm over them. The eggs remain protected in the gravel bed until they hatch. In early spring, salmon eggs hatch into what is called an alevin and is still attached to the yolk sac it feeds on. In late spring or early summer, the fry or young salmon that has used up its food supply swims out of the gravel and migrates downstream into lakes and eventually saltwater. Young salmon spend their first year feeding on plankton, small fish, and insects. After 1 or 2 years of feeding, the salmon smolt begin the migration to sea.
The streams of Japan, Siberia, Canada, and the United States share this rich resource, but the fresh waters of Alaska attract the greatest numbers. Alaska waters, these gigantic schools split up. While some travel 1,000 miles or more up the Yukon, others find their home in shallow creeks cascading from the fjords of southeastern Alaska. The largest runs are attracted to Bristol Bay and Kodiak Island. There is a variety of gear for bringing in the commercial salmon, but purse seining and gill netting catch most of the fish in Alaska. Some things about fishing haven't changed for centuries. While mending a net, Heidi Lee explains how a gill net works.
Gill net hangs like a curtain in the water, you know, and it's maybe 300 fathoms long, and it's stretched out like this. And the top is the weed line. That's what I'm working on right now. And then there's corks attached on top of that, keep it up. And then there's a lead line on the bottom, very heavy, and it weights it down. And so they set out this line in the water. Maybe it takes 10 minutes to set, but anyway, the fish swim through and they get their gills caught, you know, right through this little stuff, you know. And that's the end of the old fish.
The bigger boats that are capable of netting thousands of dollars worth of fish in a single set are called purse seiners. They operate with a larger crew than gill netters. Frank Warfel has the MRS, a purse seiner out of Wrangell. What is seining?
It's just a net that's 250 fathoms long. It's got rings on the bottom, it's got a cork line on top and a lead line on the bottom. There's a line that goes through the rings, and you just set the seine out, kind of in a horseshoe shape affair. And the object is the fish swim into the seine, then you close the seine up and purse up the bottom, then the fish are trapped in the net.
We have just seen a method to catch fish called purse seining. What other ways do you remember to catch salmon? Sport fishing, fish wheel, gill netting, and once again, purse seining. The salmon not caught always return to the same stream from which they once began. Even here, they must pass hazards from wildlife. The salmon's difficult struggle upstream is to search for suitable spawning areas in which to lay their eggs. These eggs begin a new cycle. Within a week after spawning, the old salmon dies. Their dead bodies will decompose in the months to come. When the young salmon hatch, they will feed on the plankton which is produced from their parents' bodies. The life of the salmon is an important one, from beginning to end.